Yeah. Alright, so this video's basically Unit 16. It's the packet that we got. Alright, so the vocabulary words on the top of the page. First one's wood, metal, like your jaw is metal, rubber. It says fingerspell plastic. Sometimes you see plastic. Glass, or glass if they're talking about a cup, but this one is glass. Fabric, which is like fabric or fabric or cloth. Fabric, I think, is what he uses. Fabric. Paper, it goes towards you. Paper, twice. Clay, ceramic. If you mash, you squash it. So mash. Boil, he does like a hand and then boil. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong way. So this hand's upside down and then boil. So boil. Bake, like sticking in the pan, oven, bake. Fry, which you can finger spell, or fry / cook is the same. Mix is like just mix it together, or mix. ICL, which is the instrument classifier. Fold, so he goes fold one way and then fold the other way. So fold like in half like a book and then fold over like you're folding clothes. And then poach, you just poach. Vomit, ugh, ew. Eek, and it's got a loan sign in front of it, which is like the pound, so it's E-E-K, like if you're finger spelling it, but it's eek all together as one, so E-E-K. Greasy, comes off your hand, like, ooh, grease, yep. Bitter, it's like, ooh, that's bitter. And you gotta have a good facial expression with that one, otherwise people think it's serious. So serious and bitter. Spicy hot is like, people do like, usually. And then the exclamation points on the end basically mean like enthusiastically. So like, super spicy. Or sweet is sweet. Taste awful, taste. And then you do like think, and then it's gonna be your middle finger that comes off. So this comes off your head, and then you do awful. So think, awful. Taste, think, awful. Hopefully you can see that. Strange. So it's like a C in front of your face. Strange. It's also odd. And then meals. Breakfast is obviously eat in the morning. Lunch is eat at noon, or noon. And then eat night is dinner. You'll see a lot of people in the deaf community use breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's technically a C sign, so you really shouldn't use that. The money numbers, so he did test us on this as far as I can remember, but basically anything that's $9 or under, so you do $1, like kind of like once, $1.09. So it'd be $1.09. And then like $9 would be $9, and then maybe it's 99 cents. Cents is just like you point your head, it's actually up here, but I tend to do it up here. So cents, or cents, if you want it to come off your head. And the sign for dollar is just dollar. So it could be $55.95. But yeah, I know he signs anything less than $9 with like a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and before I forget, 1 cent, 2 cent, 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent, 5 cents, 5 cents, and then 6, 7, 8, 9. So he'll do $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9. After that, it's $10. And then he'll do 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cents, 5 cents, all the way up to 9 cents. Or I think he does 9 cents. And after that, it's 10 cents. Got it? The next part is sentence structure, which is basically all about the order in which he expects things and how to describe objects. So first of all, you do the name of the object, what material it is. So maybe it's a house, it's wood, and then the DCL, which is a descriptive classifier, would be all about the shape, size, texture. So it could be, you know, it's round like a sphere, and I don't know why a house would be round, but it's round like a sphere. Maybe it's big and it's purple, and I don't know, it looks cool. It's not really your opinion on things though, it's more specific. So, you know, you could describe a phone and basically say it's, you know, this big, and it's kind of square, it's got a little edge around it, and then it's glass, something like that. And then the ICL is how do you manipulate that object? So for like, if I was still sticking with the phone, I could do, you know, square, and then there's a button, and you could push it, a circle, a small circle button, and you can push it. So the ICL is basically anything that, how you can manipulate an object. So if you use your hand, if it's Jack in the Box and it's a square or like a cube and you turn a crank, the ICL would be the crank, but the DCL would be the square. Make sense? So then he was just telling us about that one, which is like that one. This is that, and that's that one. So that is more firm, and that one's like, that one. So it's kind of a way to describe what someone's talking about. So if they're trying to describe an object and you're like, you know, they're like, oh, you know, that one. Yeah. So they'll be like, you know, your noodle hat. And then they could describe it, blah, 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 blah. You know, that one. If you turn the page, it basically goes into different descriptions of classifiers. So it's like, you know, the toy, you describe the toy, ICL, so that could be like the Jack in the Box. So you know the cube, or like you could do with B hands. So it'd be DCL, and then you do a colon, B, and then in parentheses, you put, I don't know, describe cubed box, and then you could do doll coming out, and then for the ICL, do ICL, parentheses, turn handle, maybe, turn crank, and then close parentheses, that one. Then it does the same thing for appliance, and then it's describing food. So which meal, what's the origin of the dish is like the description. What's your main ingredient and the type of food, and then you do DCL, LCL, or ICL. So descriptive classifier, location classifier, or instrument classifier. And then you add all the ingredients, and then maybe you're gonna mix them. I don't know. The rest of that page you can kind of skip. Yeah, you just skip some. And then after that, the next little section, it basically goes into describing shapes. So how to describe a claw, which is basically a claw. So it's saying that this shape is a DCL C. So how I did before I was telling you, you know, you do a DCL B. This one you do a DCL C because your hand just literally making the C. If you're going to describe something that's curved, like a wheel or a disc, you'd use an L. depending on how big it is. So you kind of go L, or if it's flat and curved, you could kind of curved. So you could do like L circle, and then it's got like a little edge curved. If that makes sense. And then a cone, the B, which is basically their open, like kind of C really, but B to S. So it goes up and down. And then there's also S to B. So if that cone was turned upside down, it'd be S to B. Yep. And then if you're doing like a small cylinder, it'd just be CC together, like describe a shape. And then there's the DCLB that I talked about, which is a cube. So it's just cube or box. So it has a top, bottom, sides. So this is just describing that basically if you're talking about a small object, you should be using like ooh with your mouth so that people can read your lips a little bit. So ooh. And then if it's like a medium size, and then if it's a big size, it's like cha, or like something large, cha. Yeah. And basically section 4 on that is basically looking at different objects from different angles and how to describe them differently. So if I look at my phone from this angle versus this angle versus this angle, how would it look? This next one is, so plaid is plaid. It's like making the lines on your chest. Speckled, like spots. Polka dots is kind of the same thing, or speckled and then spots. Flowery is flowers, and then they go everywhere here, or you could do flowers here. Stripe is just stripes. One line on it would just be a line. One band around it would be like the object, and you could just draw a little band around. 2 lines on it would be like the object, and then you could either do band, or you could do like 2 bands. Zigzag is zigzag, or zigzag, or zigzag, zigzag. I personally like this one if it's on the clothes. Spiral is spiral, so your fingers both go in the same direction. I think that's it for that page. So this is just how to describe objects and texture, which is pretty much exactly what we did. There's nothing specific about these, and I don't think he really tested on them. I was just kind of using your best judgment to see what exactly you think he's describing, but I don't think he tested these. This one is doing like symmetrical or asymmetrical objects. So it's like if you had a sphere, and then you had a little circle that came out. Or you could do a sphere, and then the DCL B to S, and then the side would be B to S. Or if you did B, you could do B to S, and then say one's going this way, one's going that way, and then there's a sphere. Something like that. Or the other one would be the opposite direction, so B to S, and then B to S, and then the sphere in the middle. That bottom section is just the words I went over before. Again, this was just describing objects. He did a lot of describing objects in this, which really, if you are trying to focus on whatever he's describing during the test, you should be able to kind of get it. He tried doing like a Chinese takeout box, a jewelry box, an ice cream maker, things like that. There's also the different kinds of cups right there. So just kind of knowing how you would describe them, and you might want to kind of focus on, okay, if this was me, I would do like a cup, the handle, and you drink, you know, that could be like the second one, or maybe a like triangular cup with like a band around it, and then there's a cup and a little like funky square handle, and you know, kind of draw things and see how you would describe items. And then it goes into more about the monies again, right there, which I already talked about, so hopefully we're good. again, more descriptions. If you turn to page 125 at the bottom, it talks about different foods. So salad, lettuce, or cabbage, or salad. This is lettuce, this is cabbage. Most people use lettuce and salad. Mushroom, just like the ball over the mushroom, makes sense. Turkey, ham, and then chop. Tomato, which comes from your lips, and it's a circle, and you cut it. Tomato. And then it says slice, or just, I don't know, slice, or slice. Cheese. And cheese you kind of grate. There's green onion. Onions by your eye, apples by your cheek. Onion, apple, onion, apple. Boil, or boil, and then eggs together, and then eggs. And then the ICL pour dressing over is pour dressing, or pour dressing, but usually this one. China, chicken, pork, beef, tofu, you all fingerspell. Carrot, which is, I believe, carrot. Broccoli, cauliflower, fingerspell, onion, mushroom, vegetarian and soy, slice, chop is this way, and sprinkle. There's orange, pineapple, or he does, I think, pineapple. Cherry, make sure you twist it, cherry, grapes, banana, you just peel, yogurt, you fingerspell, and nut is nut, or nut, big nut. And then ICL is just toss in, and then mix again. And then hot dog, corn, and then you fingerspell corn, and then so it'll be corn, and then bread. And then you could do dip and twirl. That's the bottom ICL there, dip and twirl. Same as pancake. I have cheese, you can sprinkle it on top, or you could roll something up. Powdered sugar, sour cream, same thing. I think that's pretty much it. So hopefully this helps.